We always hear conversations about how we should act and what habits we should cultivate to be better and lead a virtuous life. However, there is almost no talk about the habits we already have and that are totally negative for our life. Epithet said the following: "There are two vices much darker and more serious than the rest: lack of persistence and lack of self-control." Epithet knew that the key to a correct life is to persist. Persistence means never stop striving and acting in the right way, even when we don't feel motivated. This means developing new ways of acting that make us better. Creating good habits is not easy, so we must be persistent. The other key is to resist. Resisting means avoiding temptations and harmful habits that destroy us. We must dominate our mind to avoid this. On this channel, there are several videos that talk about good historical habits, but I haven't talked about the things we should avoid. What habits and customs of our daily lives should we resist? Now is the perfect time to start eliminating from your life everything that makes you worse, avoiding negative emotions that distract you, or putting an end to everything that prevents you from achieving your goals. Before you start, I would appreciate if you enjoy the video, because this way you help me to take this philosophy to more people. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We complain that our days are few, but we act as if they were infinite. Seneca reflected much on the length of life and came to the conclusion that many of us do not really live. We just exist. We waste our time doing things that bring us nothing and postpone what we have to do. When we are lazy, we act as if we are going to live forever, without realizing that time is the most valuable thing we have. There is no guarantee that we will be alive tomorrow or that we will be able to do what we want. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "You could stop living right now. Let this determine what you do, say, and think." This reflection on time will make you not waste it and value it as it deserves. The first step to leading a good life is to start taking seriously the time we have. Stop clinging to things. Stop clinging to things emotionally. The Stoics believe that we need to learn to let go, not only on the physical level, but also on the emotional one. If you've made a mistake in your life, don't torture yourself for it. Learn from the mistake not to make it again, but don't torture yourself with guilt and regret. These emotions don't help. That doesn't mean it's wrong to feel those emotions. They help us understand that we have acted wrongly, but once we have understood and learned from the situation, we should not let these emotions continue to torment us. We all make mistakes. Do not suffer excessively from it and always look for ways to grow from error. Stop procrastinating. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could do something good today but choose to do it tomorrow." Or in the words of Seneca, "All fools have in common that they are always preparing to begin." We prefer to say, "I'll do it tomorrow," instead of saying, "I'll never do it." Although many times, when we postpone something, it's like we'll never do it. If you have something to do, do it now. What's the point of postponing something you need to do? Even if it makes you lazy, it's always better to do what you should do now for various reasons. First, as I mentioned, our time is limited. And second, rest is most satisfying when you have fulfilled your obligations. When you postpone something for laziness, you feel guilty and know you should be doing something instead of resting. You do not enjoy rest in the same way, because deep down you know that you do not deserve it. The worst thing is that sooner or later, you will have to fulfill this obligation, so you want absolutely nothing by delaying. Few sensations surpass the satisfaction of a job well done, and being well done implies doing it at the right time, not after. Stop seeking recognition. Stop seeking profit or recognition in everything you do. If you did something well, if you helped someone, if you succeeded in something, stop seeking approval or recognition from others. Thinking that others should thank you for what you do for them or that they should congratulate you for what you have achieved will only bring suffering. You don't control what others think. You don't control whether they appreciate or reject what you do. You control only your actions. Let the end of an action be the action itself, not the recognition. If you do something, do it because it makes you happy or because you believe it's the right thing to do. The recognition and congratulations of others usually come after a job well done, but if no one recognizes your effort and work, nothing happens. You didn't do it for that reason, you did it because it was the right thing to do. Understanding this will make you feel satisfied with yourself regardless of what others think. Focus on doing your best. Stop ignoring injustice. In Stoicism, one of the most important virtues is justice. Philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius or Cicero spoke much in their works about this virtue. To be fair means to act correctly with others, to do what we should. In the Meditations, Marcus Aurelius talks about how injustice can also be committed when we do nothing, when we allow injustice to happen without acting. Sitting idly by makes us accomplices. It is part of justice to avoid the injustices that happen around us, even if they are not caused by us. Stoics are people who avoid unnecessary confrontations, believing that we must live in harmony with others. But there are situations when a Stoic cannot ignore injustice. The time when unnecessary conflict becomes necessary is when an injustice is being committed against oneself or others. Have the courage to act in these situations, to stand against injustice. Historically, the Stoics believed that being fair meant acting correctly with others and also having the courage to act against injustice when necessary. This does not mean that we must seek conflict, but rather that we must have the inner strength to face situations where injustice is occurring and we cannot simply remain passive. Stop being afraid of change. Accept that change is inevitable and do your best to adapt to it. Every time you come across changes, instead of resisting or being afraid, try to see what you can learn or how you can benefit from these changes. Change can bring opportunities, personal growth, and new perspectives. Accept that the unknown is part of life and that not everything will always be under your control. This will help you cope better with the inevitable changes and face the future with courage. Stop being a slave. Fight to be the master of yourself. Recognize that everyone has weaknesses and impulses that can lead us to act in ways that are not healthy or beneficial in the long run. True freedom comes when you are able to control these impulses and act according to your own will rather than being controlled by them. This requires discipline and self-control, but it is a path to true inner freedom. Stop being content with mediocrity. Always strive for excellence in everything you do. Instead of doing things superficially or carelessly, strive to do your best in every situation. Ask yourself if you are trying your hardest and are doing justice to your own potential. The pursuit of excellence does not mean that you need to be perfect at all, but rather that you are committed to doing your best and constantly growing. Stop letting anxiety get to you. Remember that anxiety is often created by concerns about the future that may or may not materialize. Instead of letting anxiety control your thoughts and actions, focus on the present and the actions you can take to deal with any situation that may arise. Remember that you have faced challenges in the past and that you have the ability to deal with challenges that may arise in the future. These reflections on negative habits and how to overcome them are valuable to lead a more meaningful and virtuous life. Always seek to grow, learn, and apply principles that help you become a better and more fulfilled person. Do you have habits in your life that you want to eliminate? I hope to hear from you in the comments. In addition, I trust that this video helps you get rid of the habits that often permeate our daily lives and do not benefit us. Replacing these habits with new ones, as detailed in this channel, is a way to live a peaceful, happy, and purposeful life. In addition, there are 2 videos full of historical wisdom that I am sure you will appreciate. I await your return and see you in the next content.